I mean that. That's exactly what I did. However, you couldn't see it because there was no way to capture it. So instead, I basically narrated the gameplay and told you what I was seeing and told you what I thought about the 3D effects, the feeling of using the Virtual Boy, including was there eye strain, was I sweaty from it, did my neck hurt, etc. Now, basically, I did this for about an hour, all right? First off, I'm not the only person who did it. There are other people on the internet who did exactly the same thing, and no one cared. Everyone was okay with it. But because DSP did this, that's got to become news, because people have to spin everything I do in a toxic and negative way. So, of course, because I did it, it's bad. Everyone else.
That's right, everybody. Welcome back once again to another video. I am the one, Brain Cell Army, and we are discussing another DSP moment over here on Live Stream Fail. So for those of you who are not in the know or what prompted DSP to make this video, well, I'm sure you all know that Nintendo's new Virtual Boy online service system, the Virtual Boy on the NSO came out, and there is a peripheral that you can use. I think you actually have to use the peripheral actually to play those Virtual Boy games. You have the plastic one that is made to look exactly like the original Virtual Boy and a cardboard one. Well, big old smart boy DSP over here said, okay, let's buy it. I'm sure I could stream it. And I haven't really looked into the hardware side myself, but I'm assuming unless you really want to do a bunch of different workarounds and everything, I don't really actually know the limitations of it, because from my perspective, I thought it would just be as simple as putting in a USB-C to HDMI connector into a game capture device, and then it'll capture everything from there. But I could be wrong, and I do not stand by what I said as being the most accurate thing. That's just how I think could potentially work. What DSP decided to do, though, was sit on his stream for about an hour, I believe. And yes, we are going to see some of that footage as well later on in the video. I just wanted to kick it off with his response to said thing, because yes, this is exactly what he did. He sat in front of his camera with the Virtual Boy plastic one, so the one that has the stand on it, on his desk. And he's just talking about the games and everything and trying to narrate what's going on in the game. For those of you who are not as familiar with DSP, first off, I'm sorry I have to break this to you about who this person is. Second off, this man is so boring. He can't even make RPGs, story-driven narratives entertaining. He can't even make a game like Donkey Kong Bonanza entertaining. And dude, that was one of the best games of last year. Hell, he can't even play Marathon during their current speed session weekend. I think it's one of those server testing things that they're doing. I'm not a big multiplayer online FPS person, so I'm not as familiar with Marathon. I just know from watching and keeping up to date on his antics through his detractor YouTubers that he just said, I can only do one run of this, and then it sucked. We're not touching it ever again. So that is DSP, the person who thinks that I could string a narrative and make something entertaining with something you cannot see aside from my face going into a piece of plastic. That's really it. And now he's trying to justify it and everything and saying, well, because I am DSP and I am the one who did this, yada, yada, yada. You are all hating on me. You're all hating on me because I'm just DSP. Other people did the same thing, but because I'm DSP, you all had to troll with me on it. No. I will actually do some research myself and to see if anybody else really did this. And if they did, I will give you props for that, DSP, for saying you're not the only one. But man, I really do not think anybody, I repeat, anybody would do something like that. I'm sure, and this is not including review channels who actually broke it out of the box, looked at it, visualized it, popped the game in, and started playing it as a review. Not as a, hey, I'm about to play it and it's entire game of this thing on live stream and just narrate what I am seeing.
Everyone else literally did the same thing. That was okay for them. It was a funny experiment. It was an interesting thing. You made lemonade out of lemons. But for DSP to do it, oh, what a joke, what a laughing stock, what an embarrassment he is. Bullshit. Everyone who did that can go themselves. Post that on Reddit. Go yourself, you limp dick losers. I do exactly the same thing as everyone else, and I'm wrong and everyone else is right. Suck my dick. I don't care what you say. You're all a bunch of losers, and you're jealous that you sit there looking at clips of me on Reddit and other places all day, and you have to have a miserable life offline, probably in a 9-to-5 job flipping burgers, while I get to sit here and make content for an awesome, engaged audience all day. They like the content, they reciprocate with support, and you sit there crying about your miserable life, laughing at videos of me. I'm the winner here, not you. So that's just number one. Let's get that out of the way.
Phil. I don't know why you think calling out Reddit is going to be a big ups to you. Everybody knows Reddit has become a cesspool of hot garbage. To me personally, it's creepy on the 4chan levels of hot garbage, depending on the subreddits you go into. I actually had this conversation with a couple of my friends last night. And yes, IRL friends, Phil, because I don't sit in my house all day and only go out once a week. And we got into the topic about Reddit and where Reddit stands now. And I said, Reddit for me, I go onto my go-to subreddits, and that's it. I don't touch home. I don't touch some obscure out there subreddits because a lot of the shit nowadays is such a huge cesspool of garbage. So for you to then say the people of Reddit who are all burger flipping, working 9 to 5 and everything, I'm successful. Phil, I know how much you made last year. The entire internet knows how much you made last year because you have to post every single financial thing onto your live streams through this fucking ticker of yours to say, hey, we need to hit the goal. Your detractors make Excel spreadsheets documenting how much you make on a month-to-month basis. Hell, Duty is working on a amazing video, which I'm very excited to see eventually when it does drop, of every game you rage quit since the Kino Casino arc back in 2024. Almost 2 years to the day as of this recording, Phil. And you want to say you're successful? I got something to tell you. I made more money than you last year where I didn't have to beg. I didn't have to sit on my ass in front of a computer screen and talk to a live audience and deal with a lot of trolling and everything just for measly pennies. To those of you who are the burger flippers that Phil is talking shit about, good on you. Because you're actually making money. You're not relying on somebody else's contributions to you to make a living. And you're always going to be superior to Phil for that reason as well. I don't think Phil understands that people would rather make, unfortunately, minimum wage flipping burgers from 9 to 5 than sitting on their ass in front of a computer screen and just beg the days away. The thing with Phil is if he did not get onto the internet, if he did not kick up with YouTube when YouTube first started, keep this in mind, when YouTube first started, we're talking about almost 20 years ago now, I think. I don't know how old YouTube is necessarily, but I'm going to guesstimate about 20 years. You would not be able to have the ability to even make a living at this point, Phil. If you were to just hop on this right now, just randomly, and start begging, you're not going to make anything on this. The only up that you have is being around on the platform since the beginning, and you built your cult following from that. And now the only people who watch you are trolls, detractors, and your very few fan base people who I don't even know are the big donos in your party. But above all else, you rely on just a handful of people to pay your bills every month. So I don't even know where you get off on this, Phil, thinking that you're the superior person in this situation.
Okay, now, outside of that, what happened was me playing the Virtual Boy for an hour got clipped. What does that mean? It means people took snippets of that and posted it all over the internet. Now, did they give me credit for it? No. Did they link to DSP Gaming so people would come to the channel to watch the actual coverage that I put out on the channel? No. Instead, they just clipped moments and acted like it was funny, ha ha ha. So, do I actually benefit from the trolling behavior of people on the internet who steal my content and clip it to make fun of it? No. This is exactly what I explained to Asmongold, that when he reacts to a clip of me from Reddit or from one of my detractors, I literally don't benefit. No one comes to DSP Gaming to check out the content because no one can find DSP Gaming. For 1 month, they did. Right after the Asmongold interview and everyone watched it, they basically came and said, oh, I could find it again, and it was in the algorithm. And then what happened is, well, it trailed off. The big YouTubers weren't talking about me anymore, and therefore, DSP Gaming went right back to the bottom of the algorithm again, and no one can find the channel. Now when you search for it, guess what you get? You get my detractors or you get the Reddit clips. You don't get the raw DSP content here on the channel. You get raw Phil stealing the content from the channel. So, hence, what I've been saying is basic.
Phil, this is called fair use. It's called fair use because people are allowed to clip videos and transform them in a way that makes it not the same as the original piece of media. The kind of videos I do where I record people's videos and then commentate over them. It's fair use for me because I have a transformative work on it. I have my beautiful picture of a cat, you know, in the army general. And it's considered fair use because it's not the original work. I add things to it to make it so that I'm not just copy pasting exactly what you're doing here. And you should really listen to your Kick chat as well, Phil, because on your Kick chats, they're saying the truth. They're saying Asmongold does not care about you. They're saying all this is fair use and everything. And even to saying that people clipped your hour-long gameplay of the Virtual Boy out of context. I don't know what kind of context you're trying to make here, Phil, because the context is that you're playing a video game that you couldn't even stream to your audience. So instead of saying, hey guys, I'm just going to do a review of the Virtual Boy since I cannot stream this, you chose to sit in front of a camera for an hour and play the game and be vocal about what you're seeing on the screen where nobody else can see it. This goes back to the whole original thing I brought up at the start of this video. It's the way how you present yourself, Phil. If you were to just make a review of this and everything, play for a couple minutes on your stream and say, hey, you know what? This is cool and everything. This is how it feels. This is this. This is that. People would not make fun of you like how they are. People making fun of you because you thought it was a good idea to record yourself for an hour. Not even record, live stream it for an hour of playing the Virtual Boy where, again, nobody can see what you're playing and you have to rely on your vocalization, your storytelling, your narrative of what you're seeing and what is going on. That's not content, Phil. That is just pure stupidity. And I'm going to find those clips because I want to prove to myself and prove to everybody watching this video, people who did this Virtual Boy thing that you claim that they did the same exact thing you did is bullshit. If it isn't, I will gladly find and link a video to it. But from what I'm expecting to find in my Google searches is going to be people doing a review of it. Yes, they would probably sit in front of the camera and everything and play the games for a little bit. That's fine. They're doing a review, not an hour-long sit down and listen to me play this, and all you have to see is my face smushed into a plastic TV screen.
Okay, so we had a little tutorial dealy where you gotta make sure your eyes are happy with it. And we are good to go. The games I want to play aren't out yet is the problem. Let's go ahead and just start with some Wario Land. So one of the things immediately just about this experience is that, like, if you've used any kind of VR today, obviously you get the idea of how this works. I mean, even going with, you know, having used the 3DS, which is a different style of 3D effect. Then we can just open up the feet, and then I'm going to get this on a stand so you guys can actually see this in this setup. Okay, so obviously this is definitely a more awkward setup. Instead of this being like a modern day VR headset where you're strapping it to your head and it sticks with you, I am just shoving my head into this and making do. Which I will say, while not as ideal as like a headset that's actually staying on your head, definitely better than the cardboard one was with holding it up.
Let me go and try it out right now. All right, I'm trying it out, and it looks pretty great, actually. The only downside is because the screen doesn't appear to be built with these specific lenses in mind, at least when using Switch 2. The display is a little bit bigger than it was intended to be, meaning you can't see the full edges here. So I'm hoping that they add a patch so you can see Breath of the Wild and the other Labo VR games at the proper size that they were intended to be. but it still works really well, and this isn't a bad way of playing Breath of the Wild. I loved VR on
Okay, just to prove my point even further, I did look up Virtual Boy NSO on YouTube just to get an idea. I'm seeing a lot of reviews, people talking about, you know, it's good, it's bad, etc. Unboxes, hey, don't use it, you shouldn't use this, you don't need the Virtual Boy. Hands-on previews. My favorite thing I did find, though, actually, so far in my search was this. Where's it at? Maybe a little further down over here. Here we go. Virtual Boy Pro for Nintendo Switch announcement trailer, IGN 2024, April Fool's. I think it's even funnier that it actually became a real thing as well. This picture right here, this is exactly what we needed out of Virtual Boy. Instead of the original design, make it more like a headset design like this, that way it rests on your head and everything. But Phil, from what you're saying though, I'm not seeing any videos on here that is an hour-long thing of people just playing the Virtual Boy. Yeah, in both videos I did post and everything, we did see a little bit, maybe 30, 45 seconds roughly, of people with their heads in the Virtual Boy and playing it as part of a review. We did not see them playing a game for an hour and then talking about the games afterward. What the hell, Phil? You're absolutely full of it. I'm still scrolling down. I still really want to see if there really is any kind of video that goes on for an hour-long thing. But I'm not seeing anything. And to prove a point that this was not even cut or anything, I'm going to find your original live stream, if you still have it on your channel, to prove even a further point that nothing was edited out as well. Quick little disclaimer before I even start this video. You can see here, I'm using the DSP's first ever experience Virtual Boy. DSP Plays It, Virtual Boy and Nintendo Switch Online Part 1. Hour, 10 minutes, 55 seconds. Normally, I'm just going to emphasize this as well. Normally, I do not like to have the timer on my videos. I do not like this at all, but I at least want this here to at least prove that this is, once again, DSP's video. Hour, 10 minutes long. So anything we see in this video, in this portion, is going to be from this one specifically.
And welcome. It is February 17th, 2026, a day that will live in history. Ladies and gentlemen, today is the official re-release of the Virtual Boy from Nintendo. For those who don't know, allow me to take you down memory lane. Way back when, in the mid-90s, I want to say it was like 1995, Nintendo had an idea. A marvelous thing. The controller. Now, I have the volume all the way down because I've never used the volume on this guy. Used my Switch 2 undocked before, not once. So let's open this guy up. Okay, open the Virtual Boy. Put the Switch 2 inside of it. Okay. Close it. All right. This is going to be very exciting. Trust me. This is what Nintendo wants you to do. They think this is very exciting stuff. Okay? If I open it, you can hear it a little better. Okay, that's max. That's the best I can do. Okay. All right, I'm going to play it. So here we go. Wario Land. Brightness and automatic pause on and off. I'm just going to leave everything on default. Cloud. But I can't seem to get the coin out of the cloud. I don't know how it works. Oh, there's question mark blocks here, too. Let's see here. Maybe I have to hit it with my shoulder. Yeah. My neck is killing me. It's just my neck. Actually, I do not have a headache. My eye... I don't know what it does. From T&E Soft. It talks...
And this is the video he claims that was put out of context. I have the whole video up right now. We're still going to see a little more of this as well, but just looking at how the Switch 2 is set up in the Virtual Boy, I don't know if the underneath part where the bottom of the Switch 2 rests is blocking that USB-C port. If it isn't, I really do think that's where you could just have a USB-C to HDMI input into your capture device. Instead, we have Phil here blasting the volume so that everybody can hear the audio going on and him detailing what he is seeing in the Virtual Boy. Phil, you are absolutely stupid for doing this. I think if you were to just do your review, which you do have it on your channel, I will say that you have a 21-minute review about the Nintendo Switch 2 Virtual Boy peripheral. I think that's great. That's all you should have done. You should not have sat here and played two games, excuse me. I think you played Wario Land and Golf. And you should not have done that. I don't know what's funnier, that you did that, or the fact that you're like, oh, hey, this is a good idea. Let me leave it as a VOD on my channel because I forgot. DSP does not leave his live streams up on the channel. He literally just takes in the first hour and second hour of his streams as his VOD whenever he does gameplay. Good God. I've never, I really cannot comprehend this at all either, but I can't even know what even to say at this point. I did notice his cute little blue cover for his left Joy-Con and everything. It ruins the entire look of the console as well, which is even funnier. Like, I don't know why you would need to have grips on the Joy-Cons. I believe grips really help out with not the longevity of the Joy-Con analog stick itself. I think it has to do with just the grip of it to kind of keep your thumb in place when you're playing games. But personally, I find the Joy-Cons to be pretty comfortable as is and everything, but that's just me. I know other people don't, but to pick that ugly ass blue color really just takes away from the entire sleek design of the Switch 2. And I know we're here to talk about the Virtual Boy and everything, but man, the fact that he chose to show his Joy-Con controller with the blue grip on there as well, I think he did put that on there on the Switch 2 day one release because he got a lot of different toys for it as well. One Brain Cell Army cannot pass up on an opportunity to even bring that up either. But we'll see how much longer I last watching this man just fumble around on the Virtual Boy and everything and try to make it entertaining as a live stream.
Talked to me. Did you hear that? Ooh. So, golf. And I actually have no idea what this title screen's supposed to be. It says golf, and it has push start, and it shows a green with a flag. And the background looks like a Rorschach test. Like, I'm not kidding. The background, the title screen looks like a Rorschach test. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Okay. Okay, stroke play. Ooh, stroke play. Individual records continue. Tournament play, course records. Let's do some stroke play today. Boom. It's still curved left for some reason. I don't know why. So that's the Virtual Boy. That's what your experience will be like, playing the Virtual Boy with your Switch 2 console. So I'll take it out here. And what I'm actually seeing, which is kind of fascinating, okay, is that it's actually not red. The screen is white. So what it is you have these red lenses on, and that's what makes it look like red and black. The actual console itself is all white text. Okay? So, okay, now they want me to how do I close? Close. 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 I can't select close. I can't close it. It says I had to touch it on the screen. There was no menu option to do it. I had to touch it on the screen to close it. It still thinks I'm playing it, though, even though I did close it. It says playing, so I'm just going to close the app. Okay, so the lineup think about this. The launch lineup for Virtual Boy does not include tennis, does not include Mario Clash, okay? It has a game that's all in Japanese. I don't even know what the name of it is.
Bill, I think it's probably the first time I'm ever really going to say this when I'm discussing your content. I'm just at a loss for words at this point. You decide to complain and bitch about a Japanese game that you have no clue what is going on in the game or what they're saying. Phil, it means that a Virtual Boy game that originally came out in Japan only, region locked, region exclusive, is now available for anybody in the world. That's an amazing thing to see. I'm pretty sure SNES, I think a lot of collections nowadays, if they were ported back in original Japanese, I believe those games are still only in that language on the game files itself in the older games anyways, because of how the games were built. I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy Collection does have 2 or 3 of those games that never launched outside of Japan. And people go crazy for that kind of stuff because it means lost content that's no longer lost. People said the same thing about Star Fox 2 when that first came out. It's a lost content game that's no longer lost content. It's amazing stuff. So I don't know why you're bitching about it, saying that certain games are not available on the console on release. Nintendo GameCube doesn't even have that many games. N64 is still releasing games. NES, SNES. All these online things are still releasing games, Phil. I don't think there's any online service on the NSO for any game console that has every game already released in their library of games they were planning to release. And I just have to say one more time, those grips are pretty ugly. We got a better look of it in this section of the video, so if you want to scroll back a bit, pause it and have a better look. They are just so bad. It covers the entire thumbstick itself and just ugh. I can't. I don't know why you thought that was such a good idea to get those to begin with and everything. I can't imagine them being that comfortable either. They look just like cheap, rubbery plastic material. But also, I want to ask you this again, Phil. Why did you say that people took it out of context? I literally just showed in my entire video, yes, I jumped between the video itself, but I never once left your video. It's the same garbage that you're putting out right now that you're claiming is not real. It's all out here in the open. We proved that. We also proved that your video that you claim that you're not the only person who did this, other people did it. I proved in 2 different videos. Yes, people did discuss the games, what they were seeing on the Virtual Boy. But the difference is their videos were reviews and they only had them on their faces for a good 30 seconds at most. You had your Virtual Boy in your face for minutes on end talking about a game and blasting the audio so that way your fan base could also listen to the audio as well. There's a distinct difference here, Phil. And before I do close it off, I want to see how this comment section really looks like, because unless you peer reviewed it, unless you looked at it like a hog looking over their prey, it's going to be some good comments. So first off, this has got to be one of the biggest comment sections I think I've seen at DSP's live streams, period. Top comment, this has to be satire. No one else is doing it like him. What's weird is Phil would be saying the same things. Yes, he would. He would be saying the exact same things. If his stupidity was not so well documented, I would not believe this was not a joke. DSP audiobook, riveting. I'm dying. This is genius. Amazing graphics. Yeah, the graphics are amazing. I'll give you a thumbs up for that one. Best product review I've ever seen. Time is fast and fleeting, but this video made me double check to make sure time didn't move so fast. We skipped March and went straight to April Fool's Day without me realizing. I came here after the rant just to witness this for myself. At the 36.47 mark, they took half my coins. I only have 80. I'll do 10 coins again. I'm floored from that comment right here and everything. They took half my coins. Now I only have 80. I'll do 10 coins again. So I don't know if like you put in 10 coins and you lost. They took half the coins you had, which means you had 160 coins beforehand. You put 10 coins in and then they took 80. I don't know how this man's brain even functions, because math, this is simple math, Phil. And I do not want to harken on this anymore because I have some choice words I could say, but I'd rather not. Let's see here. My 2 cents. I admit the demonstration was awkward, not very useful or entertaining. Hearing someone describe the gameplay and it was unintentionally hilarious. However, in fairness, I gave him props for trying to give us something rather than nothing. What else could he do? This was the best of a worst situation without resorting to emulations, which technically is illegal if he doesn't own the original games. It was either this or just play it off stream and give us his review. At least we got to see something. So it might be the minority here, it seems, but I give Phil credit for his efforts. It was the only thing he could do, really. Thanks, Phil. You tried, my dude. That's all we could ask for. He was saying if the Virtual Boy ended up being a flop, he had a backup plan with his shiny new Nintendo Premium account. LOL, talking about Genesis games and stuff. Yeah, right. So I can't agree with this. This is something I really cannot agree with, because this is exactly what you do. You play it off stream and give your review, Phil. You don't justify it. No, you do your review of the video. You do not rely on giving a audiobook of what you're playing at all. But I think I proved my point here enough already with Phil. I did say if I could find another video that was an hour-long video of somebody just playing the Virtual Boy and commentating over what they're seeing, I will show it. You saw, I looked through basically 3 pages worth of video recordings based on the Virtual Boy, and I cannot find anything about it. So with all that being said, this has been One Brain Cell Army. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.